Hey, everyone. Welcome to a special hot stove edition on Inside the Gorilla Position. As always, the host, the BBB, the Boston Bad Boy, Jason Rumble, and tonight, alongside with me thus far to join me on this special edition, where we'll be going over the ins and outs, the comings and goings, just the news that has been coming out of the wrestling world. I'll be honest with you, Mike. The reason why I'm dubbing this the hot stove, and I believe there was the time and place where you had Hall and Nash sign, and that was huge.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
let me
But
introduce,
nobody knew
as
about it
always,
until it
they know
happened.
who you are. It's the APOC Stiff Mike himself. But anyways, man, we've never had news like this. There's tons of
No.
people just coming, going all around.
So the whole Adam Cole thing. I don't know who. I honestly don't know who to believe because I talked to a few people who are signed, and they're saying he's signed until the end of next year.
Well,
All the dirt teachers say that he's not. So who do I believe? Do I believe people that actually are in NXT and are saying that he's not going anywhere, or do I? You know what I mean? I'm sure fucking Clown Fingers is going to be telling me I'm talking out my ass when he knows more about talking out of his ass than anybody else, because that's all he does is talks out of his ass. So, I mean, I don't know. The last I heard, which was last year, he re-signed for 3 years. That report came out.
yeah.
I talked to two people, and one of them's a writer, said he ain't going nowhere. And that person would know more than anybody else because he's friends with him.
Well, I think
So,
I'm gonna wait and see after SummerSlam. I do believe this.
and then
That
Britt
if
Baker came out. Then Britt Baker came out and said that he's happy where he is right now. And why would he stay? He's making the most money there.
he's one of the guys that came out that was disgruntled about being down in NXT to a certain extent because
I
of the
understand.
disbandment of the group they were in, the Undisputed Era.
I understand that. I'm not debating that. What I'm debating is that he's king there. Like, why are you going? Like, I get, oh, he wants to be with his buddies. Who's that? Is that douchebag Fingers? Oh, what's up, Capelli?
It's the Gazoo himself.
So I didn't call you Gazoo. I called you Capelli.
No, I am the Gazoo.
That's
I'm
right.
The great one.
The
You
great
gotta
one.
paint that shit green.
No, you'll be painting it green soon enough. Oh, could Raw start any worse?
I haven't started watching it yet.
Oh, it's fucking. Let's put it this way. I'm telling
I
you.
wanted to puke all over my computer screen. And dude, if they release Charlotte Flair, I'm gonna do cartwheels naked down Main Street in Pelham. I'm not even kidding you. I swear to God, if they release her, I'll be the happiest person in the world. Can't stand her. She's ugly, and I can't fucking stand her. I just can't. I'm sorry.
It's understandable.
I'm a little fired up right now.
So,
I want Fingers to come on. That's what I want.
Did you see my
You just want to pick on him.
No, I want to shut him up.
Boy, shut him up. It's a fan. That's just his perspective. I doubt it's any right, but
it's not right.
Man, he is working you like fucking. Oh, dude,
he's not working me.
No,
he's not working.
Buddy.
He couldn't work. He couldn't work.
He's got you already.
I'm telling you, he knows it makes you mad. He absolutely knows. He absolutely knows. I'm sorry to say.
What do we say? Wait. What do we say in the business? Never work a worker, correct?
I understand that, but hear this out.
As usual.
He was a band dude. You know what I mean? That may not been a big time like rock musician, but they toured, did their things. They won the Boston. Tribal Wisdom was the best band in the Boston area 2 years in a row. Like,
look at he's two gray beards and one natural beard. Love it.
they, yeah, but like, hey, all
Yeah,
that
whatever.
out there, right there. Okay, touche, buddy.
You see this? This is fucking solar power, baby. I'm going green before you, motherfucker. Here's the thing, right? You got
Something's
age,
definitely up, though. Something's
You got-
definitely up with WWE.
age, stupidity, and wisdom. Rumble's age, Mike's stupidity,
Your
and I'm
stupidity,
wisdom.
Yeah.
your stupidity, my wisdom.
Okay. This coming from the guy that said the fucking Red Sox were fucking on a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, Mike, listen. No, they're on a 4-game losing streak
Now they
right
are.
now. But hear me out. Wait a second.
When did I say that?
Last Thursday, hear me out. Hear me
I
out.
never said that.
Oh my God! Yes, you did. You go. The Sox are on a 3-game losing streak right now. I go.
So
How
what?
can they be? I go. How can they be on a 3-game losing streak when they just split a doubleheader against? They did.
You discussed
No, they didn't.
Tampa by Tampa.
They lost both. And then that weekend leading up to those 4 games, they took 3 out of 4 against your beloved New York Yankees that are on a tear right now.
And the Tampa just swept the Red Sox.
I know that.
All right, whatever. Go
Because-
get your,
all right.
go get your Mohawk in a bunch.
Because
All right,
High Bloom decided to sleep to go to sleep and not even pick up a mid guy. They're tooling on him right now.
Listen.
Yep. Go. All right.
The great Gazoo Capelli has given a theory. And I want to discuss it since
Let's do
now
it.
of all times
Yeah.
is the greatest thing to discuss. And I want to put it out there. So let me explain why, and then we can get into the discussion, whether we agree or disagree. So with all the moves that have happened, you think about it, go back a year, especially since the inception of AEW.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
starts with Jericho. Okay? Vince obviously had a relationship with Jericho. Then you look at some of the releases that have happened over the years. I mean, over the past year. Most of them you can say, yeah, I saw that one coming. I saw that one coming. I saw that one coming. Then you see Braun Strowman get the release. Okay. Aleister Black gets the release. Okay.
That baffled me because they were getting ready to push him again. But
That
baffled me.
leading in to what I'm saying. So then Daniel Bryan finally walks away, with rumor having it that Vince gave the blessing at the end. Behind closed doors, Vince tried to re-sign him, and when he couldn't re-sign him for what the deal that he wanted, gave him the blessing and told him, and the quote kind of went was, you need to make a name for yourself of what company you go to that you made here. Okay. Can believe it. It's believable. Then you hear about CM Punk, to which everyone knows that the WWE they were having conversations, but CM Punk was never, I don't think, ever, his heart wasn't in it to come here, per se. And now you got Bray Wyatt now being released for budget cuts.
yeah,
And that leads me to this theory.
that's bullshit. But anyways,
And Vince is he believes in Sun Tzu. He's said it, the art of war. And Vince is a firm believer that you need to have competition in order to be viable.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the product now, and you look at the product and how stale it's gotten, and just the way it is now, with no competition, there's just nothing there.
no, I agree.
You're not
with
going
that.
to get you're not going to get competition with ROW. You're not going to get competition with TNA. With
TNA
Impact.
tried and they failed.
I think Vince, behind closed doors, my theory is he, number one, is pushing particular wrestlers in that direction. Some of them that he figured would get over here, but would be superstars there. And I go back to Hall and Nash. Hall and Nash, though they were big in the WWE, they were never bigger than Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Stone Cold. The wrestlers that we hear that were the big, and actually it really wasn't Stone Cold at the time. It really was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, that and The Undertaker were really the kind of the top dogs pre-Attitude Era. And then Hall and Nash went to WCW, ignited the Monday Night Wars, to which at the end, when it was all said and done, Vince made more money. His company was more successful. He was more successful.
Yeah.
And I think he looks at it now. My thing is I am a firm believer that I believe Vince he's the type of business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call him, that he would take that risk. He would let people go knowing they're going on the other show, knowing that they're going to make that product better, knowing that the fans may turn on the WWE and bring up that other product. Because at the end, it's a win-win for Vince. He's then becomes the underdog or becomes the losing company and has reason now to say to executives and writers, hey, listen, I'm losing in the ratings. We need to change our format and philosophy. And eventually that's what happens. And you get different wrestling and you get different writing. And maybe you get something else. I don't know, but
I can buy into definitely what I agreed with you. I agree 100%. But to the certain fact is, the only thing is let's put it this way: the Attitude Era and what you could get away with in that day and age is totally different on people can get away with. But I believe this could be the thing that everybody is looking for down the road. And that's the NXT style to come up and be adopted by the main brand. Now, I think the reason being this all happens is because Vince can all out take the credit for this new age style of wrestling to be on his brand instead of NXT getting the full thunder for it. Because there's really not much he's going to be able to pull out of the hat to keep ratings if you're getting guys that if they actually can write good storylines. Like Bray Wyatt, if he comes back, him and his brother, the Rotundas, in like an evil cowboy, like, not a cowboy, but just like a badass hangman, not hangman style, but like a rough Texan type of gimmick, medieval, he has to reinvent himself in order to be plausible first and foremost win a character like that if he were to go to AEW. Because what if Mike is right, that he's like Samoa Joe, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later, we find out he just had a re-compromise in his contract. But then again, now you're hearing that there was some backstage issues lately between Vince and Bray Wyatt, where it was a love-hate relationship.
I heard that too, but I mean, how much can you believe that?
And then again, I'm one who said the other day, the mental illness part of it is what gets me. And I'll be honest with you, I was kind of sad. I'm kind of saddened that people are out there already, if it's a mental illness, and people who don't know truly what mental illness is they're booking this guy already in AEW or Ring of Honor, giving him where he goes, what he's doing, how it's going to be done, instead of wishing the guy, first and foremost, a great recovery. A recovery where he can look himself in the mirror, be happy with who he is, and be productive as a father and as a husband before even thinking about professional wrestling first and foremost. Like, some of these people, it's like beyond me.
Yeah, and that's the shit that irritates me the most, is that as soon as a wrestler gets released, he's going to AEW. He's going to AEW. You don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on. Like, and that's what's more than anything else is irritating the crap out of me. It's like, just let the guy be. You know what I mean? Let him be.
Well, let me clarify a couple things. So,
on a side note, real
Bray
quick.
Wyatt.
Wait, hold on a second. Did you guys hear about Brandino?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I knew last week. I
knew last week too because he wrestled and he almost fucking keeled over.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be wrestling.
So,
all right.
I actually put my name in the hat, but I got denied. So, hopefully it works out for him. Scary shit. Go on, Capelli.
So, I will going back to the Bray Wyatt situation. Wyatt was, it is confirmed that he was dealing with an actual physical ailment, not the mental illness part of it. He was dealing with an injury, and he was cleared to return about 2 weeks ago, and he was scheduled to be on Raw next week. He was dealing with an injury. Now, as far as the mental illness thing goes, yes, I agree 100%. They're not. No one is officially saying that is why he is asked, why he was released or whatnot. We won't know because that's a touchy situation to say I released somebody due to mental illness or he wasn't mentally there. I mean, we all know that Brody Lee's death hit him hard.
Yeah.
Hit a lot of people hard. Hit him really hard.
Yeah, it did.
I don't think you're gonna see Bray Wyatt back in the WWE. I don't. As much as I'd love to say, yeah, you're gonna see him back like Samoa. Joe was more realistic because Joe couldn't wrestle at the time, and they reworked his contract for money and dates and such. That was more realistic. Braun Strowman would have been more realistic should he come back.
I heard he was on an indie show or he signed to be on some big indie show with a bunch of other guys.
I heard that too. But I also heard that Vince wants to counter the Daniel Bryan and CM Punk signings, even though CM Punk still technically isn't a announced official. It's official. It's official.
I don't know.
But I don't think you're going to see Braun Strowman back. I don't think you're going to see Bray Wyatt back in the WWE because, there is the situation with WrestleMania where the ending of the match was changed. They talked about it on Friday, and then here comes Sunday, they changed the fucking match. And, I know people want to blame Alexa Bliss. She got nothing to do with it. It just, I think when it came to Bray Wyatt, his mental illness held him back, which is understandable. And now I have a feeling they just WWE looked at it, and deep down inside, Vince looked at it and said, if I let this kid go, he'll go make $1 gazillion for another company. He'll put them on the map. And then I can say I created him and then try to compete against them. Eventually, you're going to see him in a ring again. Wrestling is in his blood.
Yeah.
And it is going to be, if anything, think about this storyline. Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda or whatever he would call it, which rumor had it, his wrestling name might be Wyatt Wyndham if he goes to AEW. I read that, and someone said that his name could be Wyatt Wyndham if he went to AEW. As the new leader of the Dark Order, as he takes over for his best friend. So it's a gimmick.
That's not happening.
Evil Uno came out on 3 different social media aspects and invited him to be Bray Wyatt.
So shake your head no, but think about it. If you think about it from a booker standpoint, if you're an AEW writer and booker, Absolutely, because there's a history and a backstory, and it would make perfect sense.
What do you guys think? Jerry over here is asked. He heard that they pitched another character change for Bray, and he basically had enough at that point.
No,
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 no, no.
not at all.
I know Bray had pretty good control over the character and gimmick. It was discussed, but think about this. The Fiend gimmick was one of the biggest sellers for Vince for the last 2 years. Why would he change it? He wouldn't.
That's
Vince is about money.
There's something more behind this. I'm telling you, there's something
Goes back
going.
to my theory. Think about it, Mike. Goes back to that theory. You can put him with.
I don't disagree with you at all, but I think it's going to come out sooner than later, and I think it's going to come out right around SummerSlam because they're talking about big surprises. So we'll see.
Your favorite person is on.
Capelli's on. You're right.
Jimmy Fingers.
Oh, the
Your
Mark.
arch nemesis. Your arch nemesis.
My arch nemesis. He's a Mark. Anyways, continue with that fucking beard. Look at him. It looks like he just got out of the box on the corner of fucking Tremont Street in Boston.
Jason Rumble knows where I was at today.
Yeah,
You all right?
Seven.
You don't look too good.
No, you look like you were high as a kite, brother.
Seven fillings and a crown.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Wait.
Well, how are you doing out here
Seven
then?
villains. Where is the entrance music? No entrance music tonight? I'm a little disappointed in you, Jimmy Fingers.
Leave the kid alone. He's hurting.
Oh, look at him.
Here, let me come over so I can punch you in the mouth.
It's as simple as this, guys. I haven't been to a dentist in 40 years,
Holy crap.
and
How are you even talking? It sounds like you got a dick in your mouth.
all the Novocaines worn off. But I got to kind of get back to it, you know.
It actually sounds like you're sucking on Gazoo's head, but anyways.
So we can't see Tony Khan's little prick in the picture.
We love you, Fingers.
I guess it's normal for your mouth to hurt after all of that, right?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
It's like taking a Mack truck to the face.
God.
We can wait a couple of days and I can show you how it feels again.
Oh, fuck.
I'll just have you stand in front of my truck and I'll drop it in the low two and hammer it and see how it feels.
So,
Get me up to-
Fingers,
get me
how do you
up to-
like? How do you like the little graphic that I found this thing on here? How to make banners so I can put different things up. You like that, huh?
Just
Hot stove special inside
Oh, yeah.
the gorilla
Nice.
position.
Just get me up to speed where you guys have talked about already.
You know, realistically, we just dropped in on. It's been Capelli's new theory, and it's a theory that people are thinking that this could be creative competition. Sending some established names out. I'm feeding into this theory because I read a few different things today. As you see, I was very active on the gorilla position today with a lot of things, and I read a lot. And a couple of different sites both gave me the same analogy that Vince, it's always been about competition for him. And if you look at the height of it, and I know that you can't compare the Attitude Era, a.k.a. the Monday Night Wars, with the way that you can get things over on television, but those were Vince's biggest years. And let's just face it, if it's going to be a competition, let it be a competition. And I like the fact that letting some AKA, and they're not, so to speak, you know how you want to see these guys over? Well, they can be main stars otherwhere And the one big thing that I can reiterate with is you look at Hall and Nash and Capelli and both Mikes made perfect sense when they said they just couldn't overpass Shawn Michaels. They couldn't overpass uh,
The
Bret
Undertaker.
Hart, the Undertakers of the world, and they needed to go to another place. Even though they were stars, they weren't the mega stars that basically were the transcenders and the faces of Vince's WWE. I think this makes a lot of perfect sense.
So you're saying Vince is doing this on purpose to create that competition?
Yes, it makes sense. Why not send established stars that theoretically he can't find like the most biggest thing for them to do, but he knows in another company they can hit it out of the park.
And
Thing
then
is-
and then come back refreshed with a new fresh coat of paint.
Hear me out,
right?
fingers. Hear me out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it to you all this way, and you guys would all, and I know you guys all gonna all agree. You can't have Pepsi without Coke. Apple would not be Apple without IBM, right?
Yeah.
Vince is a firm believer in you need like you can't be the United States Army without the Russian Army in the Cold War. You need to have a true villain or a true competitor that could be compared to being an equal. Vince, in my belief, and like I said, he's ballsy enough, he's smart enough to recognize it. Number one, he is a smart businessman. He's a unique businessman in the sense that he has no problem taking risks. You know, he's the attitude of I'll spend $1 million and lose it if down the line in 10 years it makes me 20 million. Versus a lot of us would look at it and go, no, I'm not spending $1 million and losing it. I'm going to lose my shirt. To him, he's ballsy enough to take that kind of risk. It's not about bringing the guys back. It's about building up his competitor silently while
Like you do with ECW.
trying to play. Remember, Vince and Ted Turner were buddy. Even though Ted was going after him, they were billionaire buddies. Vince also did the exact same thing with ECW, knowing ECW would never truly take over, but he gave them a third option. And he said to the fans, here's a third option, something totally different. And he fucking backed Paul E. And it's record. It's on paper. Everyone knows it. The thing with Vince is this. He's not going to come out outright and say it because he has shareholders and networks that he has to make happy and ultimately make them a profit. But as a smart businessman, he knows, hey, I control these wrestlers. They're my entertainers. They're my wrestlers. I control their destinies. So I'm gonna let this one go. At the peak of Bray Wyatt, I'm gonna let him go. At this one, Charlotte Flair will be let go eventually from the WWE. No doubt in my mind.
Please.
Was Ric Flair really let go today?
Ric
Yes.
Flair requested his release. He wasn't let go. He was requested his release. So yes, he was let go, but that was per request.
Why do you think Ric Flair wanted to be released?
It's green. It goes in your pocket, buddy.
So AEW has been after him.
No, but I think Rick realizes that, you know, he got his commercial deals, which Vince helped him with. Vince is making his money off that. And I think he realizes that he still can make money in the wrestling business. Probably going to get more television time on AEW.
Yeah.
As well as, goes back to my theory, it opens the door to make sense that Charlotte Flair follows her husband or fiance, whatever the hell he is, and her father eventually over to AEW.
I put that up, and I think they make a stable.
Yeah, quietly, knowing full well Vince is backing it 100%. Because Vince can't come out right and say, yeah, I want her to go over there. I want Rick to go over there. Because if he does that, the networks that he's, partnered with won't like that. He can't do that. But where this type of business is, Vince can do it in another way. And what happens? Now Becky Lynch, when she makes her comeback, if, say, Charlotte in a year is gone, Becky takes, once again assumes control of the women's division. You have the biggest, probably the biggest female wrestler in the business on another brand, and the second female, wrestler in the business on his brand.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the women's division, Capelli? It's looking pretty thin right now.
Yeah, it's looking thin because there's not much available. But I mean, then again, look at fucking the start of Raw. Start of Raw, you had fucking Bobby Lashley and Bill fucking Goldberg, and then you had Drew fucking McIntyre with his stupid fucking sword. I mean, come on. It tells you that, to me, this is Vince doing what he did with the Monday Night Wars. He's going to let his competition get the upper hand so he can make that big comeback. And he can come steamrolling in and really bring it up. Telling you, it's a philosophy. It's playing. It's like Muhammad Ali in a boxing match. He's playing rope-a-dope. He's giving the competitor shots. He's giving them ammunition. He's giving them shots. They're in the ring, and the fucking competitor's banging away. And they're going to make it look like Muhammad Ali's going to make it look like he's about to lose. And what does he do at the end? Muhammad Ali hung in, and then come the late rounds, that's when he starts banging them back. It's exactly what Vince does. That's how he does business.
What does this do potentially for NXT?
Honestly, I think it puts it more on the map. Makes it bigger.
Do you like my theory on where Vince steals the NXT theory to make the comeback of the wrestling world and claims that he created it?
Well, yeah, I can see that.
Because like I said, again, you can't utilize the same style that you did during those Monday Night Wars, especially on the US. Especially on the USA Network.
But think about this, though.
Hear me out. Let me just finish. Think about the heat that Vince got Saturday morning from all the parents, because I read the tweets about explaining to their 9-year-old kids, Daddy, what's he mean about missionary position?
That was on purpose, by the way.
Well,
I was scripted and on purpose.
Yep, but still, it proves to the fact of how WWE's product is so generated towards kids that even saying that arises parents out there and questioning their kids. So
why is that kid up at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday watching?
Oh, man, my kids are up that late.
Yeah, you and mine. Yeah, I agree, but... Oh, look at that. Damian Priest finally back on TV. About time.
He's been on TV the past 3 weeks.
I have a question. I have a question for everybody, right?
Yeah, go on.
So, if the Bray Wyatt thing isn't some sort of ploy, why hasn't he changed his Twitter name yet?
Because they don't.
Or his Instagram.
But he still has WWE attached to it.
Yeah. But that's because he doesn't control that. WWE does.
No, that's his. No, he controls it.
Anything that has the thing WWE after it is trademarked by the WWE. They own that. Now, Bray can start his own called Wyndham, whatever. But if it has WWE on it, they have rights to it.
I can see to that.
Anything that has that WWE name is owned by WWE. That has that trademark thing. So, that's nothing to look into. I wouldn't buy into that.
So, who do you think's the next chip to fall? I showed today the big thing was the Adam Cole.
But everyone knows that. His contract's up at the end of August.
I didn't know it.
Yeah, his contract's up at the end of August. He has a zero. He does not have a 90-day compete clause because he has an NXT contract. So because he has an NXT contract, they have no 90-day non-compete clause.
Yeah, it's a 30-day.
Yeah. So he is Adam Cole's the next thing to drop. But that's NXT. And that makes sense because you know what? His boys are all over there. Adam Page is there. Kenny's there. You know, Cody. All those guys are over there. The Elite the Bucks are there. Now think about this gimmick. On television, new faction is formed. It consists of Adam Cole, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk. Think about if they were smart, they go and write that as a faction.
Well, they're not smart. That's number one.
Wait, gets even better. I don't think
Cole's leaving any. I don't think Cole's going anywhere.
And their manager, Ric Flair. Now that's just writing. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But think about that gimmick right there. You got
it kind of makes sense. It makes sense to the point that AEW is known for writing shows with hundreds of tag team matches and having the most factions that a promotion's ever had.
Yep. Adam Cole is gone. He's bye-bye.
Nope.
He's not re-signing. He is gone.
Okay.
Why would he stay, Mike? Think about it.
Why would he stay?
Why?
Yeah.
Why would he stay?
Because he's got it made there, and he's take care of him. And Britt Baker's already come out and said that he's very happy where he's at right now, and he doesn't have any intention to leave. And I made a few phone calls. He's not going nowhere.
Yeah, but he's got nothing left to do in NXT.
Think about this. Every one of his best friends in the business.
Wait. What'd you say, Fingers?
I says, what else does he have left to do in NXT, though?
I agree with that. I agree. But
nothing.
From what I understand, he's not going anywhere. So we'll see.
He's gone, Mike. Trust me. He's gone. End of the month. He's going to finish up this rivalry with what's-his-face. He's gone. It makes more sense. He's going to make more money going over there. He's going to get more television. He's going to get more over, especially if he walks out on television with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Think about it.
Or he walks out there with the
Elite.
The Elite.
He was Bullet Club, right?
He was.
Yeah.
He was with the Elite. He was with Ken. He was with the Bucks and Kenny Omega when they were doing the Elite part of it.
Yep.
Wow.
Because they did the same gimmick when he signed. They did the double super kick. They beat him up and left him to dead, and it was on the Elite. It was pretty good.
Kind of like what they did with AJ when.
They did. They did it all with all of them. It was pretty. That's what they do. But it makes perfect sense for him to go.
I only say that it makes perfect sense because I made a post today about, or a comment, that it there was a picture. It was either Britt Baker's birthday or his birthday,
and they're all in the locker room.
And no, it was at a dinner table.
Oh, that's right.
And it was like everybody in that picture was AEW.
Yep, all his boys are there. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I'd go if I was him. I got nothing holding me here. He knows that he's done being over. He's not going to be the NXT champ again, and he doesn't want to commit to the main roster. So why would you stay in NXT? Go to AEW where you can be part of something different. That's what NXT is. He can go there and do the exact same thing and make another name for himself. There's another name I heard that AEW may be talking about. And it's a name that I would have expected years ago would have signed. Jay Lethal.
Yes.
I'm hearing Jay Lethal potentially to AEW.
Well,
at what point is AEW going to have to start letting guys go?
Well,
they're overflooded right now.
You got 2 shows now, though. You got Dynamite, that new one starting.
Yeah, but that one show's only an hour.
Yes, but they get an arena and they're doing 2 hours of taping before they get to that 10 o'clock hour show.
And here's the thing.
I heard this. It is rumored right now. Fox is talking to Vince McMahon, and they want to expand
SmackDown to 3 hours.
SmackDown to 3 hours.
God, no.
If they do that, they have to expand the roster too.
I think it makes more sense that if they expand the 3 hours, and hear me out, why they would expand the 3 hour. It would be in a normal any other time. That's when they're running house shows, and they could book those as super shows,
Yep.
because I believe firmly that we are about to see in the next 4 to 6 months. I believe we're going back to one belt systems, and you'll keep the United States, you keep the Intercontinental. I think the tag team will all be one, and I think the heavyweight title will all be one, because with the downsizing of the rosters, along with the travel schedule, it makes perfect sense that these guys can work a Monday night, a Friday night, a Saturday night schedule, and have Sunday to travel to Monday.
So I'm going to elaborate on what you said because I've heard something very similar. But it would still be two separate rosters. The only titles that would remain separate would be the IC and US title from what I read. The IC title would be exclusive to one brand. The US title would be exclusive to the other. But all world titles would be one. Be one women's title, one world champion, one tag team champion, all exclusive to one. Both titles on both, that one title on both brands, but it would still be two separate brands with the IC and US being separate, kept separate, and those technically would be the what I would call the 1A and Bs. That would be that if you were that champion, you were technically the number one contenders per se, although they wouldn't be. They would be like the champion of that show per se, where the world title would be the champion of the WWE. Those two titles are kind of the champion of that one show. That's what I've heard something similar, because you're going to see, obviously Lashley's going over, Roman Reigns is going over, and then I'm hearing Survivor Series or Rumble. You're going to see Lashley versus Reigns, where Reigns takes the belt to set up for the big WrestleMania match. If it happens, mind you, because that is still up in the air, of Rock and Reigns, because Rock is not confirmed to do WrestleMania.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are they doing with Cena technically?
He's going to go out. He's going to put him over at the end, and then Cena goes away. And then he comes back. They already called it. It's the Summer Cena Tour. And then he'll probably come back for WrestleMania, but Cena's already booked to do Fast and Furious 10, although they're keeping it quiet. A buddy of mine who works for the truck drivers who's going to be going there to work for they're doing a couple, I guess, potentially a couple of scenes maybe getting booked here in New England. They've already got it, but I know from what I've read, Cena's definitely booked for that. Plus, there's other stuff that he's got coming up.
Interesting.
Hey, could they do okay with the roster getting depleted the way it is, and the way that there's been like heat with NXT, how they've been treating, and all the speculation that Triple H isn't happy. Could they do like a feud with H and Vince and NXT battle main roster guys?
Here's the thing. Vince does not want to be on television. Vince has come out and said that the character of Mr. McMahon has run its course. He does not want to be an active on-screen persona, albeit, I mean, he probably should be, but he has said that he does not want to be that active Mr. McMahon on-screen persona.
He's too old.
Hunter, he's too old. And Hunter, you know, Jay and Mike will tell you, if there's a guy that truly understands the business inside and out, it's Hunter. And Hunter knows that if he comes on TV and maintains a consistent image on TV, he's already done it. He did it with the authority gimmick. Hunter is not going to want to play that gimmick again. He realizes he needs something different, something new.
Yeah, but can't you have NXT in the main roster like battle?
They've already done it. And the problem is you got Vince, whose main roster is his baby.
Yes.
and you have Hunter, whose main roster is NXT, at the end of the day, Vince is not going to let NXT beat out his main roster.
I said that.
Never happened. So to do that, you're killing your own brand. You don't kill your own brand. That's why Hunter has made comments in the past that, hey, this company's open to doing business with other companies. Hunter sees the writing on the wall. I think if Hunter had his opportunity, he could book it, you absolutely would see an AEW versus WWE angle somewhere on legitimate television. But Vince, I don't think Vince looks at competition like, no, I don't want to go and do something now with my competition because they're not where they need to be. They need to be beating me in order for me to do that. And that's what happened the night fucking Vince said, okay, DX, take that tank, drive down the street, and go knock on their fucking door. Because Vince was at the point where he had lost. And he had started building on that Monday Night War gimmick to the point where he knew it was the right time to go knock on their door. And he wasn't afraid. If they opened the door, Vince was going to allow it to be on their television. He was ballsy enough to allow it. The mistake was made by fucking Eric Bischoff to not open that door and blatantly challenge Vince. It would have been the biggest thing. We'd be talking about it today in professional wrestling.
Without a doubt.
But because Bischoff didn't have the balls to do it, Vince won the Monday Night Wars right then and there. That's the night Vince really won the Monday Night War. And you're going to see the same thing eventually happen again. Maybe not to that extreme, but it will happen again.
Like I said, I stand by it. This is like hot stove. This is bigger than the NBA free agency and NHL free agency that just started last week. All these guys signing, all these guys getting waived, more rumors and things about people who potentially are asking for their releases. What's true, what's false. I mean, at this point, yep.
There was something that was put up today, and Mike was right. It was a fake. Alexa Bliss did not request her release for the WWE.
Yep.
It was a fake. That guy was blowing smoke up the ass.
That's why I had put that. Where I stole it from, the person who stole it goes, I don't know the validity of this, so I'm not going to say this is true or false. This is just interesting. So I basically stuck along the same lines. You know what I mean?
Yep. I will say that I do know that a lot of wrestlers backstage were taken back by the release.
Yeah.
But again, Vince is the type of guy, he plays things very close to the chest when it comes to business.
Yeah.
Especially certain things. I'm telling you, he's playing this one close to the chest.
Very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Something's coming.
It sucks, don't get me wrong, because I love Bray Wyatt. I loved the gimmick. If it was me and I was writing it, Bray would have been one of my centerpieces. It would have been the three faces of fear. The Bray Wyatt of the cult, Bray Wyatt, the fucking, the crazy fucking show host, and Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. I would have had the three faces of Wyatt. I would have done so much with that guy because he had charisma. He had everything.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, to be really honest. It's unfortunate.
See, this was a conversation that me and Mr. Fingers got into last night. He took when you text, he takes a little bit out of context. And I was just trying to say to this that a lot of other people, before they have the machine of the WWE, they've already been out on the indies. They've experimented with characters. They know what works. You know what I mean?
Well, pose that same question to Mike and Vin about what we were talking about.
I am. I'm getting into it. Me, myself, because he was never an independent wrestler. He came into the machine. He was given certain things to work with. He was given their crowds to work with. He was given their film studios. He was given their promo school. He was given the lap of luxury on how to realistically perform. Okay,
Who we talking
Who's
about?
this?
we're talking about Bray Wyatt. He
Yeah,
was
but you got to
never.
remember, Bray Wyatt,
Hear
he grew
hear
up
me-
in the business.
I know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying, hear me out. He had the machine of the WWE to help create him. Now he's in reverse mode. Now he's going to go out on his own, coming up with a character, okay, a name, the persona. And let's just face it, everybody, when it comes to the critics, is going to say, well, that character is the same character WWE and Vince McMahon came up with. It just has a different name. Me and my belief, I believe he needs to come up with something that's totally original and to show how brilliant he truly was. And being an indie wrestler, that's essentially what we had to do. In order to get over, to get noticed, regardless or not when they change our name, when you get to the WWE and the developmental, it's a whole different process. That's what I mean. I'm not doubting that Bray Wyatt's one of the most brilliant workers, a guy with great facials, great ring presence. I notice all that, fingers. I take that all into consideration. I'm just saying you cannot be the Fiend. You can't be the Eater of Worlds in order for anybody to take you serious to a certain extent to say, wow, you really recreated yourself without Vince McMahon behind you. Because if you're just going to go out there and play the same freaking character, okay, and give yourself a different name, to me, I don't think it's like shows anything. And then you brought up Tommy End.
Same
Alex
thing. He's
Black.
doing the same thing that he did at WWE.
But he was that persona on the indies. He wasn't nothing different. Bray Wyatt has never been nothing. He was Husky fucking Harris. Okay?
He
And
created the Fiend.
I understand that. But he's not going to be able to take that creation. Vince owns the likeliness, owns everything.
What makes you think that he's not going to be able to create something great again?
I never, ever said he couldn't. I said he has to come up with something big so he's not leaning upon what the machine created for him. That's all. I believe in Bray Wyatt. I believe because he's a second generation wrestler with the name of Wyndham Rotunda that's all third generation wrestler with his uncle Barry, his grandfather being Blackjack Mulligan, his father being the IRS AK Mike Rotunda. I believe he can fly. I believe he can touch the sky. Okay? I'm just telling you that I want to see him create something on his own outside of the WWE realm, even if it's advancing what he had to the next level. I'll be pleased with that.
Let me pose something to you, and I agree. But the thing is Bray Wyatt or Wyndham Rotunda. People recognize him for the type of gimmick that he has or he can pull off, which is the quote unquote psychotic eater of worlds, mental game thing.
Brody Lee was already that character when he was on the indie scenes. That's what I mean. They had time on the indie scenes to create these personas, and Luke Harper was nothing different from that. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the question. Why, if you were AEW, why would you write anything other than trying to expand off of Bray Wyatt? Because that's what fans want.
Regardless of what fans want, wait, Jake, hold on a second. Regardless of what fans want, Chris, and I understand where you're coming from, but if they do anything to the likeness of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, the Eater of Worlds, Vince is going to crawl up their ass with lawyers, and they're going to sue them.
Whoa,
That's what
not
Jai's trying to do.
Not if Vince is the one who is pushing this agenda behind a closed door. I'm not saying he comes out as Bray Wyatt, but if what I hear, he comes out as Wyatt Wyndham, and he plays that mental game, goes Dark Order, and kind of plays that, not saying the same way of the way he played The Fiend, the way he did the Firefly Funhouse, but Bray Wyatt, the character, he can absolutely live that character.
I'd like to see it based after a Texan and not after a guy that lived in the Alabama sticks petting alligators.
I wouldn't even base it. Wait. I get one even for you better. You don't base it off of anything. You have him come out in a white suit with a red shirt. Because everyone.
Waylon Mercy.
No, not Waylon Mercy. Wyatt would do this way better. But think about this. What if he came out could do the gimmick that Seth Rollins tried to do and couldn't get it over?
You guys do realize that. You do realize that his gimmick was based off of Waylon Mercy from back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, but everyone knew that though. I mean, that was the gimmick though. The cult leader, the cult thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just rather see him some guy as he was psychotic, he lost his brain, and he just acts like he acts psychotic. I can deal with that. I'd rather not just see him some guy that comes from the backwoods of Louisiana or Alabama and has a buddy with the fucking with the sheep face or sheep mask.
No, I don't want to see that, but I also don't want to see him completely deviate from what he's already built upon the last 10 years.
I don't think he's going to deviate. I hope it's something close that ties in his family lineage, along with him being a psychotic, deranged motherfucker.
I agree. That's why I would love to see, if it's true, hear the name Wyatt Wyndham. Okay, there's the lineage. There's kind of keeping the gimmick, but his gimmick, if he goes Dark Order too, if he does all that, and it ties him in with his bro, it would be great. It all depends on how they write it.
Yep.
So he could be Tank Mulligan is what he was on the Indies for that 1 year with his brother.
Yeah, they weren't even on the Indies for a year. It was 6 months. They did their training, and then they just got a little bit in front of the crowd, and as soon as they could fit him into the landscape down in Florida Championship Wrestling, boom, they were there.
But don't discredit or discount the fact that he was raised since birth in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
That's WWE, that's Indies. So maybe he didn't work the Indies as much as we would consider it, work. The fact is he was raised in this business.
Yeah.
He's lived it. He's breathed it. I mean, he was born to it. He probably understands it better than most. Indie or machine. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hope the best for him. I really hope he becomes a big star. I enjoyed watching Bray Wyatt more than I enjoyed watching Eric Rowan or Luke Harper. That's just my honest opinion. Brody Lee, I like Brody Lee, don't get me wrong, and I know, Forbes, you have a man crush for him. But I was never a huge, maybe because Vince never pushed him to make me like, oh my God. But I see why you could like him, because he had those big eye facials and he did a lot of cool things. But I was more of a Bray Wyatt fan, so it never. I was like, he could dump those two dudes. And just like Strowman had to grow on me. Strowman had to leave all them idiots in order for me to like him.
Is he really getting put over, Mike? I mean, is this really what we just saw? A clean go over on fucking Riddle?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't they put him over clean? He's 7 feet tall.
He can't work.
Listen, I don't think he's that bad. He's been working with Kevin Nash the past couple of months, so.
It just doesn't make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason.
The only
thing that makes sense, if Randy Orton come out right now and fucking, he goes to beat him up, Randy Orton comes out and fucking gives him the fucking RKO.
I think they're saving that for SummerSlam.
Where's Randy Orton right now?
No one knows.
He's hurt. He hurt his back at the last pay-per-view.
There's
So
my
He just
girl.
came back.
There's my girl.
So he's been unavailable for comment?
Listen, if he really hurt his back, he'd be on television doing something. I'm with Jay. There's something else going on there.
Hold on, fellas.
Sticky Fingers watching fucking Alexa Bliss right now.
Probably. He's about to take off to the bathroom and get
There goes Dewdrop.
his fingers really sticky.
I'm streaming it, so I'm delayed a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't even started watching it yet.
You're not missing much.
I hear SmackDown's the show anyways right now.
Eva Marie is such a fucking waste.
She's getting good heel heat, though. That's the good thing.
If you think about it,
sucks.
SmackDown
Sucks.
SmackDown has to be a good show because it travels on Friday nights. Where Monday Night Raw, you would think that because it's Monday and more people got to go to work on a Tuesday, that it wouldn't be the show that draws.
Lily just stood up on her own.
It's the fact that Monday Night Raw is like going to a Monday Night Football game. It don't matter what Tuesday is.
And now it's carrying cross time.
Who's your working?
I might as well put it on now since you guys got me.
So I heard, I don't know how true this is, Karrion Kross has much nuclear heat on him right now. That's why they're fucking with him.
Yeah, I can see that. But then again, it sucks to be him because we all said that he was the perfect style Vince McMahon wrestler.
He was until he got exposed by Cole and then by freaking Gargano.
Because he can't talk on a mic. Never could.
Nope.
Neither can Keith Lee. That's his big thing, too.
I know.
And they took his mouthpiece away. She hasn't even been seen on NXT in 2 weeks.
Who?
Really?
This girl.
Has she been on Main Event doing women's matches?
Not yet, no.
I hear a show that we all suffer and don't watch that's one of their good ones is watching 205 Live because they started utilizing bigger wrestlers and did it and not making about being 205 the weight.
I don't know. To me right now, and I sent you that text, Jay, the other night, the business is fucking a circus right now.
No.
Our business
really?
is the biggest fucking circus on the planet right now. There's no rhyme or reason.
It's the shits.
You know what? It's a far cry.
Did they really make that fucking doll stand up?
What's that?
They made that stupid doll stand up.
I just said that 5 minutes ago. Where the fuck were you?
I told you I'm streaming and I'm behind you, fucking dink.
Yeah, the doll stood up. You know why, right? They're going to turn her into a wrestler. The former Chelsea Green.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I
She
heard
was
that
just
too.
on TNA the other night. She was
Yeah,
just
but
on
she
the
didn't sign it
Impact.
on TNA.
She didn't sign it.
All right.
Mike, calm down. Calm down now. Calm down. Don't jump between the
I'm just saying, I seen
Shut
Chelsea
up,
Green.
you!
She was part of the mixed tag team match on Impact's pay-per-view, which if you watched it, I'm not sure if you did, it was decent. I watched bits and pieces of it. I can tell you this: Big Cass versus Eddie Edwards. Eddie carried his ass. Big Cass is a waist of fucking 7 feet tall. And you can't teach that.
Jimmy's been carrying a lot of talent over there. I'll tell you that much. He made Sam McCallaghan look like $1 million, and that kid can't work to save his life.
Frankie Kazarian showed up on Impact Wrestling too.
Yep. That he did. I was telling Mike that.
Yeah, Frankie showed up and attacked, the Bullet Club, as you want to call it now, whatever the fuck they called.
Yes. Well,
the Drizzling Shits. That's what they're called, the Drizzling Shits.
Because Jay White, one of the best wrestlers in the world, is there right now. Another guy that why would he go over to Impact to work and not work with AEW when they're getting all the highlight? I look at Impact right now, and they're basically mimicking what the what WWE NXT is doing right now, with having a crowd, like a small studio crowd, standing up in Nashville, Tennessee, in a TV studio.
Yep.
They're basically charging $10, but I mean the WWE setup is way better.
Of course it is. You got a Vince McMahon back in it, not Billy Corgan.
Yeah. Have you heard any rumblings about NXT quite possibly moving back to Full Sail University in the upcoming weeks or months?
Nope. I'm hearing they're going live. Same thing. They're going to start touring. That's what I'm hearing.
And NXT on Tuesday nights is going to be a live show.
Yep.
From a legit building.
Yep.
Small venues, I bet, though.
Yeah, like if you think about it, Jay, like if it was in Boston, it would be at the Agganis Arena, not the TD Garden, but they'd be at like
well, that's what AEW does,
right? Or like the Worcester Centrum.
I think that's a little big for NXT.
Yeah, I think they could sell the Centrum. Remember, the Centrum only seats, I think 8,000 or 9,000 tops.
Yeah. Okay. So, And when does NXT plan on doing this?
October?
The next couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, like October.
Do you guys plan on taking in WWE when they come into town in September?
No.
Not wasting my money.
Yeah. Forbes, I guarantee you'll go to AEW, buddy, huh?
Pitching the biggest fucking tent.
Oh, dude. You are probably going to wear a sign like my buddy Sidewalk Sam. It's going to say, I will suck Tony's dick for a ticket.
He's going to walk into the door like this. I'm trying to make him laugh so it hurts his mouth, the fucking asshole.
Tony Khan, I love you.
Carrying crosses on, fellas.
Yeah, he's in the ring, yet they're showing a vignette of him. Does that make any sense?
I don't like that stuff when they just stand out there with their thumbs up their butt waiting for something to happen. I hate that part.
He's going to wrestle Keith Lee again.
Yeah, and this time Keith Lee's going to go over. Watch.
What's the deal with Keith Lee right now?
He's trying to get released.
Yeah, I know he's a wrestler. He is. I said that to Forbes last week. I go, he looks like a wrestler that is ultimately looking to get released.
Yeah, he's just going through the motions. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. Sad, man.
I don't blame him, though. They shit all over him.
Yep.
Vince wants him to work a style that he's not comfortable working.
He never worked that style. He's always worked the high-paced style. It's the new age of wrestling, man.
That's what got him to the show. That's what got him to the dance. Is his wrestling style.
I'm sorry. Even Josh Briggs works that way. Who's close to 300. All these big guys work that way. They all work. They all gonna do the same stuff because to them, independent wrestling nowadays, Capelli, ain't like how it used to be where you built on a ladder and you didn't steal from the match before you.
I know.
You knew your rule. Now, these guys, they're going to top each other. Every match going to top each other.
Who saw that Sasha Banks heel turn? Anybody see that coming, or were you surprised?
How could you not see it coming?
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
With Bayley being gone for 9 months, you need a big heel.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Sasha's a perfect heel, too.
And Bianca Belair is not carrying that women's division over there. I'm sorry. She's just
not. Nope.
She's isn't like this is another thing, man. These girls that just sign out of college and then the only work they've ever had is NXT experience. It's a whole different ball game when you only had, say, 100 matches under your belt. We're in the indie scene. You can get 100 matches under your belt in 6 months. You know what I mean? In front of different crowds. It's about the seasoning, and I don't believe Bianca Belair has the same type of seasoning that a Sasha Banks had when she was Mercedes on the
Hey,
independent scene here in New
but can
England.
I say it? I'm going to say it. I'm going to be as blunt as possible. People are going to crucify me for it, but it's the truth, and everybody here knows it. Why did Bianca Belair get put over to be the next champ? Simply put, because she is black, and it is the agenda of today. That is why she is put over
but that
as
doesn't
the
hold,
champ.
Chris. That holds no weight because Sasha's black too. So what's the point?
Now, trust me when I tell you. Think about it. She is the. I get Sasha's black. Sasha's actually half Puerto Rican too. Don't forget. So,
No, I
but
know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
but the point is you're not putting over a white girl nowadays. Bianca Belair was the black girl that worked her way up in the business. She got the push. You know,
And you know what's funny
hold on, let me finish this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
When you have a wrestler who has busted her ass for the last 5 years in Liv Morgan, who they keep just pushing down and crushing down and pushing down and crushing down, because, let's be honest, today's agenda, it makes more sense for Vince to put over a black female than to put over a white girl. I'm being honest. I'm
put
not
over
being
a girl
racist.
from a different
Just being
country.
honest.
And Nikki Ash is from a different country, so you're putting over a different citizen. There's another agenda.
Right? You got Roman Reigns, Samoan, and he's Samoan. He's not. He's in Southeast Asia, whatever you want to call it. Bobby Lashley, black. You have Omos with a title. I mean, if you look at the demographic, the last 2 years of champions, based off the social agenda and everything going on, Vince has definitely placated right into it.
Yep, it has to.
I get it. It's for business. But Bianca Belair has shown she is not Becky Lynch. She cannot single-handedly carry the division.
Now,
Sorry.
here's a whole new thing of fingers. I remember you talking about this a couple weeks back, and this is the thing that's going to make me say this now. Here's another idea. That Vince McMahon, it wasn't Vince, but it was Stephanie McMahon, that came out a couple of weeks ago on Twitter and said that this product is going to get more cartoon based. Do you believe that maybe some of the characters that they're getting rid of to them aren't good enough or cannot be PG enough to be cartoon based to live in the new WWE society?
But that just further puts the agenda forth for the children, and that's
what I mean. Because you think about the Fiend, I get it, but he's an evil being. He's a little too evil for the little kiddies. I'm just saying. I know it's far fetched and out there, but I liked what Fingers had said. I seen the tweet about what Stephanie McMahon saying that they want to envision steering the company to be more like a cartoon.
Sell it to Disney then.
Do you see any truth to that matter there? Great Kazoo, as you want to be called this evening.
No. You don't make it. Because you're not going to ever build a product to make it more cartoon based. No, because.
But it's happening.
When you look at some of the characters, I mean, the Fiend is the perfect cartoon character.
Yeah.
He's the perfect cartoon character. Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Perfect cartoon character.
Yeah, I know.
Why would you get rid of that? You wouldn't.
Listen, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
I
don't think there's any truth.
Don't throw it out there. Shut the hell up.
Mike, do you need a Snickers?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just tired.
You need a
No,
hot
yeah.
dog? Hey, Mike, you want to go get a hot dog?
Hot
Get the hot
dog.
dogs.
Yeah.
Hey, I was out there, you know. I had to take
For what?
Lexi out to. I was out by. It was in Amherst.
Yeah, that's not
That's pretty close
Springfield,
to
though.
Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Biggest party
I was like,
school
let's
in the
get some
country.
fucking hot dogs.
And she goes to college next year?
No, 2 years. This was a soccer ID camp.
Yep.
She was working with the UMass Amherst coaches. Division
So
One college. We'll see what happens.
Is she
Did you
getting
have-
looked
have
at in
you-
high school as a soccer player?
What's that?
Is she getting looked at as a soccer player in Massachusetts right now?
Yes.
Oh wow, good
She's
for
got she's got St. Anselm College interested, potentially New England College interested. She's gone to ID camps for UMass Lowell and UMass Amherst. So she's going into her junior year of high school, so we'll see what happens.
And she's been playing varsity all along?
Oh yeah, she made varsity as a freshman, starting as a sophomore. Last year she won Most Improved Player of the Year. Plus she plays club, indoor, and fucking name it. It's every
Yeah.
weekend, kid.
Has she driven by herself yet?
Yeah, she's out right now. We gave her the car to go to work. I know, right?
Scary.
I know.
Dude,
Uh,
I'm gonna
my
be
daughter's
50 this
4
month,
years
right?
away.
I'm gonna be
Comes
50
quick.
this month. And
Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
yeah, but I look better than everybody on this fucking
Oh,
board. So
come
Here
on.
we go. Here we go.
Dude,
I'll give you. I'll
you that you're
it-
fucking 55, you forget about it, and Forbes looks like he's dead.
I look at this hairdo. Wait until I show
Yeah,
the
yeah.
construction of the 10 pounds I lose
Listen,
by the end of the month.
Look at this face. Look at these fucking eyebrows.
Look at that. No
But the rest of
wrinkles.
you is
Beautiful.
dead, motherfucker.
Beautiful.
Don't hate because I only have a very little gray hair.
Oh Jesus! I got a full head of black hair.
I still got a full head of black hair and it's somewhere else. I can't say.
We don't want to know about that.
Actually, I can't even say that. I got I manscaped now, so it's not much there. Got to keep that shit trim. Telling you, it's good. Free flowing. It's great.
Hey,
Put a little cocoa butter on it. It's awesome.
so does
Oh, my-
it. So does it. Fingers. Just look at his chin.
Fingers is half asleep right now. Fingers doesn't even listen to what we're saying. He's just fucking in la la land. Yeah.
All right, fellas. So tomorrow night we're gonna talk Monday Night Raw. If anybody wants to jump on, let me know. I'll send the invites out. It's been cool
I'll be
talking
on.
about this. I had to talk about this because there was so much stuff flowing on after Ric Flair got waived today, after his
Well, I
release.
mean,
all
honestly,
the-
dude, Ric Flair's not really a big deal. He's 70-something years old.
I'm sorry to say, Mike, to me, still in this game, him being backstage to the young wrestlers still means a lot. He's Ric Flair. He is clout. Just to be able to talk to him for 5 minutes backstage as a young wrestler, he does. He brings credibility, and not for nothing, he's one of the old school guys that when he comes on TV, people do enjoy watching him. So I believe that he would come in very handy as an asset in many different ways. He's one of those guys that does, I wouldn't complain about, where Sting had to prove himself to be worth what he's worth. And he's been doing a decent job working himself back into being a productive in-ring worker in AEW.
Well,
He still
Keith
can't
Lee,
he can't get cleared to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keith Lee going over. And Keith
As
Lee
I
goes
said
over.
it and predicted.
All right, boys. Well, anyways,
So predictable.
and I wanted to talk about the whole mental health issue, which I got at the beginning. Listen, man, I understand everybody's got the armchair booker, the fairyland promoter.
That's what I'm
Some of us are even pink hats. Some of us, ham and eggers, other of us are fountains of misinformation. But at the end of the day, we all have a
Oh,
love and
Swordsy.
passion. We all have a love and passion for professional wrestling.
Well,
But at the
I
same
want to.
point in time, I wanted to just let those people know that stop putting Bray Wyatt here, there, and everywhere. Because if the story is true and it has something to do with mental illness, we need to forget all that stuff and just let the man be him. Let him recuperate. Let him be happy about the person that he sees in the mirror every day. Let him be productive for his wife and kids. And then let's worry about his professional wrestling career. Let's just worry about what's best for his life. He's already made millions of dollars. It don't matter to him what three letters he goes to. He is set for the rest of his life. Let him live a healthy and productive life if mental illness is the huge crutch that he has right now. That's all. I meant nothing bad to anybody, but it's the truth, man. A lot of people shut off mental illness, and what made me think about that was somebody posted about Simone Biles and Tuukka Rask. Listen, Simone Biles has more to think about than Tuukka Rask. What the hell did Tuukka Rask have to think about? And the city of Boston hating him? He already knows that. That's nothing. Simone Biles had the whole weight as a young 20-year-old girl with the whole weight of the United States. And not only that, the pandemic. Who knows what's going on in her mind? Just for her to stay over there and be part of it, like people jumped on her, like to even weigh Simone Biles' uh, situation with Tuukka Rask was one of the dumbest. I'm sorry, one of the dumbest things I ever read. And then the Bray Wyatt thing. I'm like, man, people just don't get. People do not get mental illness. They just think that people should be able to fucking march on, and it's not. It's just. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not that simple.
Well, as somebody who fights it every day, I know. So
I know that too, myself, man.
Well, you definitely said something that is definitely true. One motherfucker on here is a ham and egger. Another motherfucker on here is a fountain of misinformation, and neither one of them are named the Great Gazoo.
no, it is the Great Gazoo. Trust me, it's freaking
Fountain of
Clown
the
and
King.
Great Gazoo.
Hey, the fountain of King information. That's what we'll call it.
That
Fountain
would
of
be
King
Swordsy, not me.
information. And Jimmy Ham and Egger Fingers.
Listen,
he writes.
I have a bunch of loose boards at my house. Come on over. I need your head for about 20 minutes.
We finally found Dr. Seuss. It's Jimmy Fingers, green eggs and ham.
Yeah, green eggs and ham and egg. There it is. The king of information.
Whatever, Gazoo.
Green eggs and ham. Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. All right, fellas.
Boys.
So, for the BBB Jason Rumble, your host, I'd like to thank my panel this evening: APOC Stiff Mike, Sticky Fingers, two for the pink, two for the stink fingers, and the great Gazoo himself, Vince Mick Capelli. All right, everyone, we'll see you tomorrow night, 8:30, right here on the Gorilla Position Network for Tuesday Night Raw Talk. See you then. Peace out.
Later.
Later. And to the YouTube livers, not just Facebook Nation. As in the words of Sniff Mike, bah!